welcome back to my art channel. Today we're continuing my segment of Crochet With Me, and I am still using all of my leftover yarn. I'm trying not to buy any more new yarn until I use up everything in my basket over there. Today I started this a while ago and I keep meaning to come back to it, but I'm trying to make a little swimsuit cover up for the summer. While I crochet today, I wanted to talk about some of the most difficult things about being a creative person, because it can be difficult having so many hobbies and big aspirations and what feels like little opportunities built into the world for these things, and talking about it so that we don't feel so alone in these kinds of thoughts and difficult moments. So the first thing is comparison, and I know that this is true in every area of life, because there's always going to be someone who's doing something a little bit better than you, or maybe differently. And this is something I've experienced a lot in painting. I'm like, oh, their idea of color theory is so perfect. The way that they're able to do the impressionist style so perfectly and capture the essence of something without painting it from life. All sorts of things that I wish I could do. And the thing that I've learned through that is everyone has different strengths. Just like every aspect of life, everyone will have different styles. And you can love somebody's style and still have your own and your own strengths. And so it's about pouring into your strengths as an artist. Would you hear the thunder? It's a stormy, rainy day. It's kind of spooky. I should probably make some tea in a minute. But yeah, so finding what you excel at in those areas and pouring into those and finding confidence in that. And just because someone is doing something else really well doesn't mean what you're doing is any less than. And this is something I have to tell myself all the time. When scrolling through Instagram, I love getting inspiration from other artists, I really do. But there's that nagging little voice that's like, oh, but you can't do that. But that's okay, because I love what I can do and what I am doing. That's a big one. The next thing is the practicality of being creative. I majored in art in college, and I got some weird responses when I would tell people I was majoring in art. They're like, oh, your parents are probably real upset, or good luck finding a job. But it's just the response that you get from people, because people don't realize that there are jobs, creative jobs out there. So it's kind of balancing like, oh, I have to make money and I have to have a sustainable lifestyle, but all I want to do is create. And so that's something that I'm still working on. I am doing odd jobs and not really making a livable wage right now, but I'm hopeful and I'm really optimistic that I can make art something that I can do full-time someday. I'm not there yet, but I've been watching a lot of people who are, and I find it really encouraging to see that there are so many creatives out there who are doing it. Like, this is their full-time job. But in the meantime, doing all these other things, I still get to pour into something that I really love. And it might be in my off time. I might not be getting to do it full time yet, but I know it's something that can happen. Yeah, but it can be a struggle to try to find this balance between doing what you really love and having to make ends meet. So that is one of the biggest struggles of being an artist. The next thing is facing criticism. Criticism over something that feels like you're pouring who you are into. I'm also a songwriter, so that's like a big, like that, those are me. And then paintings and things like that. Feeling criticism over something that you have, it feels like you're bearing your soul on something. It can be one of the worst feelings in the whole world. It's something that can really hinder you from putting yourself out there, putting your work out there. So that's one of the hardest things to get over in art, but this kind of goes back to knowing your strengths and knowing what you do well and reassuring yourself that you know what you're doing, no matter what some random person on the internet says. Yeah, as soon as I got my first mean comment on a social media platform, I wanted to cry. And there's criticism that you can grow from and criticism that you just need to erase from your mind. So I think it's also important to find the distinction between that. And a lot of constructive criticism will be phrased in a way that is actually uplifting, like, what if you did this, or something like that, rather than just, oh, this is a bunch of poop, the right words. So I think that it can depend on phrasing and also how much you respect the opinion of the person criticizing. So if you know them and you know their interest is for you to grow as an artist, then I would take into consideration the things that they're telling you. But if it's some random stranger on the internet who you don't know their art background first of all, or you know they don't care for you as a person or an artist, you don't need to bother listening to that at all. So I think it's important to distinguish between those two. But despite all of these things that can be so hard as an artist, it's so worth it and such a rewarding thing to be able to create things. I think it's worth all of the things that can be so difficult. And so I hope that this video made you feel less alone in some of these difficulties as an artist, and maybe can help you combat some of these things a little bit, because I still have a long way to go and we can work on it together and grow as artists and an artist community. I've still got a long ways to go with this cover-up, so she'll be back in the future. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!